Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Ria Rambly.
I'm Ryan Beachu.
Hi, I'm Jassi Marik with the sport.
And I'm Jamal Krampazad with your weather.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. Prime Minister meets U.S. Southern Command in Florida to secure new support for TNT's crime fight against crime.
Experts warn TNT's role in U.S. counter-cartel coalition could carry diplomatic risks.
TSTT confronted during negotiation talks but denies spending nearly $500,000 on Tobago executive retreat.
Ahead in sport, Team TTO to send 74 strong to Carifta Games Grenada 2026.
Dry conditions to start the week, but some showers later on. I'll have the details in tonight's weather report.
TSTT is tonight pushing back against claims about the cost of its recent executive retreat in Tobago.
An investigative Guardian media report revealed that the majority state-owned company was invoiced $436,081.78 by its advertising agency for the three-day event for 11 executives. But in a statement this evening, TSTT says that figure is inflated, roughly 60% higher than the actual cost. TSTT says the retreat focused on leadership planning, operational discussions, and engagement with the Tobago House of Assembly, noting it was held locally instead of overseas as in previous years.
And the Communication Workers Union is calling on Public Utilities Minister Clyde Elder to intervene in the ongoing dispute between the union and TSTT as tensions escalate over executive spending and stalled wage negotiations.
At a media conference today, CWU Secretary General Joanne Ogier said the union met with TSTT earlier in the day to continue wage negotiations, during which the company sought to dismiss reports about the cost of a recent executive retreat.
He made it clear to the union that the invoices, as stated, they were overpriced, or they were, I think the term they used, it was inflated, and they wanted to be clear that that is not correct information. Of course, the union rebutted one time, and we told them that we accused them of being liars.
Ogier stressed that the union does not oppose board retreats or foreign travel for executives, but objected to what it describes as excessive spending, while wage negotiations remain unsolved. The CWU also questioned why workers have been asked to accept minimal compensation proposals, despite the company maintaining what it described as discretionary spending. According to Ogier, the company's latest offer includes a one-time payment of $15,000 with no increases in salaries, pensions, allowances, or cost of living adjustments. She noted that employees are currently working on 2019 salary levels, while negotiations cover the periods 2020 to 2022 and 2023 to 2025. Ogier also used a press conference to call on Elder, a former trade unionist, to engage with the union on the matter.
What have you to say? Don't forget your comrades. Don't forget the workers at TSTT now that you are in the government. So we rest today, and we hope that the public will continue to support the union, because we are seeing what they are saying on social media. They are outraged at this kind of spending.
CNC3 News contacted Minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities Clyde Elder. However, he had no comment on the issue.
Shield of the Americas Summit, brought to you by Trinry, Dollar Value, Brand Credit Union, Facades the Food King, Jameson, here for your health, Furnace Anchorage General Insurance, and Omega XL by Great Health Works.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has activated what is being described as another phase of her crime suppression plan as she met with members of the U.S. Southern Command in Doral, Florida this afternoon.
CNC3 News understands today's meeting dealt with combating localized crime on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago. The Prime Minister requested a partnership with the U.S. to deal with issues surrounding cybersecurity, ballistics, and forensics in Trinidad and Tobago. In a statement issued moments ago, the Prime Minister said she made it clear to the U.S. officials that her greatest priority is to ensure the protection of citizens. She added that she is heartened by the U.S. military's commitment to broadening the scope of work to ensure a safer region, but also specific support for TNT's security. President Trump on Saturday said the countries that have signed on to the Doral Charter and joined the America's Counter-Cartel Coalition will receive military training to be an effective fighting force. Speaking with CNC3 News, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Nicholas Morris, who was part of the delegation, explained what this means for TNT.
The PM continues to fight to ensure a safer Trinidad on the international stage through this meeting, right? Because this meeting really was geared geared to extend that partnership so we could bring safer communities, safer villages, and a safer country. That is what it is, you know. At that boardroom, at that board table today, it was a discussion on how we can make a safer Trinidad and Tobago through partnership with our longest and strongest ally.
Minister Morris said the Prime Minister will provide additional details in due course.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister said she has invited the commander of the U.S. Southern Command, General Francis Donovan, to visit TNT, which he said may be possible before the end of this year.
And the Prime Minister is seeking to assure that the recently formed military alliance between this country and the U.S. will ultimately benefit all of CARICOM.
The Prime Minister spoke at an event in her honor at Joy's Roti Delight in Lauderhill yesterday, where she lamented that the Caribbean region is now plagued by evil people. And she maintains that her decision to join the America's Counter-Cartel Coalition will ultimately lead to peace in the entire region. Meanwhile, Prasad Bisesa heaped praise on Donald Trump, who she called a visionary and brave leader. In commending the U.S. president, Prasad Bisesa acknowledged that President Trump receives his share of criticism, but noted that she too is no stranger to scrutiny. Well, international relations experts are tonight questioning the long-term benefits of TNT's signing of the Doral Charter, raising concerns about its potential impact on CARICOM relations and the longevity of the agreement under President Trump.
UWI International Relations lecturer Michael Pawinski says TNT could face long-term diplomatic and strategic challenges after signing on to the agreement at the Shield of the Americas summit over the weekend. He warns the summit could deepen divisions within CARICOM, noting that Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago were the only English-speaking Caribbean states invited to participate.
Speaking, this potentially is damaging the long-term relations with CARICOM member states for short-term possible economic benefits. But the question that should be asked is at what expense in terms of the long-term vision of national interest of Trinidad. And I'm pretty confident that the majority of the initiatives started by the Trump, they will be just forgotten, including the Board of Peace and this summit, Shield of America summit. I don't think this will survive beyond President Trump. So then what's next?
But former head of the UWI IR Institute, Dr. Anthony Gonzalez, is uneasy about TNT seemingly drawing closer to the United States, particularly under the leadership of Donald Trump, whom he described as unpredictable in terms of long-term policy direction. Gonzalez is also concerned about the possibility of a U.S. military presence or base being established in TNT as part of deeper security cooperation. Furthermore, he raised concerns about the potential impact on relations with China.
We have been able to build a lot of things from using Chinese loans from China and so on, and a lot of development assistance. And I don't know to the extent to which we may have now to turn our backs on the Chinese, that could probably have a negative effect.
Like Pawinski, Gonzalez questioned what the shift could mean for the country's sovereignty and regional solidarity, arguing that TNT appears to be moving ahead without its CARICOM partners.
He was also critical of the coalition's endorsement of lethal force against suspected narco-traffickers, saying he would have expected Prasad Bisesa as a lawyer to champion due process.
Multiple efforts to get a response from the Prime Minister and other ministers who accompanied her on the trip have been unsuccessful. Efforts have also been made to obtain a response from the Chinese embassy and CARICOM. Former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith says the Shield of the Americas is a needed tool to address crime not only in the country, but in the region.
Griffith believes politics should not undermine the possible positive impact the Shield of the Americas may bring. He adds that external support may address rogue elements within the police service, which is counterproductive to addressing criminality.
police will cover for police in certain situations. So with this, what we're seeing now, unfortunately, politics has a way that we will always find the glass half empty. In this situation now, with the Shield of the American meeting and us taking part in that counter-cartel coalition, it is a win-win situation, not just for Trinidad and Tobago, but for the region.
Griffith adds that the sharing of information with the U.S. is nothing new, and training is going to assist TNT with its crime-fighting capabilities.
Well, on the back of that story today, we asked, do you think TNT will benefit from the Prime Minister's participation in the Shield of America's summit with U.S. President Donald Trump?
Here's what you had to say.
Certainly. Huh?
Why?
Because of our relationship with the current president of the United States. I can't see me going wrong there.
I probably thought the worst of it, but I think Auntie Kamala had things in hand by the move she making, because the crime really out of control, and if we having U.S. forces to come in the country here to help control the crime, because it's really, really out of control. It's really out of control. And we need that help. And I believe that she's doing the right thing.
In terms of petroleum reopening, the refinery, and for the benefit of all, based on the oil industry. Because as it is, over the years, we had all, put it this way, all our eggs in one basket, which was the oil sector. We closed down the agricultural sector, which we supposed to be self-sufficient in. You understand? So probably Trump could and Kamala could come to a consensus.
In my book, no, we're not going to benefit. There's too much going on outside for us to benefit from that.
I don't think so. Because of how America is right now, the United States, and what is going on right now in Trinidad. I think things will go down and not get better.
That's a plus. It is no if or buts about that. That's a plus, because of the fact that she was recognized to meet these high-profile people. And I think that will bring some bearing and added value to this country.
Shield of the Americas Summit, brought to you by Trinry, Dollar Value, Brand Credit Union, Facades the Food King, Jameson, here for your health, Furnace Anchorage General Insurance, and Omega XL by Great Health Works.
But still to come in the news, government holds firm on non-cash plan for PSA back pay. The finance minister says the union has an important factor to consider.
And coming up later on in sport, a power outage wasn't the only talking point in the TTPFL this weekend. We'll bring you up to speed later.
Okay, let me see you Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off. Let me see you rock off. Let me see you kick right. Now step forward, now step back. Lucozade, bring the energy. Unbeatable taste, new look. Shake off. Let me see you rock off.
The biggest and most dynamic International Women's Day event is back. AmCham TNT's 12th Annual Women's Leadership Conference. Friday, March 13, 2026 at the Hyatt Regency from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come be inspired by dynamic speakers, engaging discussions, and impactful networking opportunities. Themed Give to Gain, featuring 3 powerful sessions designed to spark real change. This event is for everyone, women and men, who believe in gender equality.
Eid Mubarak from Passats the Food King. Joyful savings for every home this Eid on Ibis all-purpose flour, 5 kilograms, $29.99. Central Farm Halal duck, £4.99. Halal bone goat, £3.99. Dutch potatoes, £5, $10. Halal mince beef, £4.95. Chana large grain, 2,000 grams, $39.99. Split peas dal, 400 grams, 3 packs for $9.99. Regal seedless dates, 200 grams, $14.99. Fresh harvest sweetened condensed milk, 390 grams, 3 tins for $25. Nestle Carnation evaporated milk, 250 ml, 2 packs, 15. Shake vermicelli wine, 200 grams, 4 packs, $19.99. Flavorite ice cream, 3.2 liters, 2 tubs, $99. Chubby soft drink, 2 cases, $77. Eid Mubarak from Passats the Food King. Sale ends 22nd March 2026 or while stocks last.
Quality value, that's our way. The real Passats, we're here to stay.
for King Besides.
I'm every woman, evolving, unstoppable even when I need to recharge. That's why I choose iron that's gentle, fights fatigue, and keeps me strong.
Fine lines, subtle shifts. I support my skin from within to reduce wrinkles.
Hard work takes strength, so I fuel up to stay ready.
Now I'm growing someone new. What I take, she takes too. So I choose what supports her brain from the start.
Wellness looks different for all of us, and I'm not alone. Jameson, trusted by women through every stage and every change.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Welcome to the People's Choice, here at Dollar Value. Service with a smile treat, you like family too. Easy on your pocket, where here for community. Dollar Value Supermarket, always here for you and me, where we going. Dollar Value, Dollar Value. Community Supermarket, doing it for you. Dollar Value, Dollar Value. Pocket-friendly supermarket, doing it for you.
Folks, take a look at all these medical conditions. What does it have in common? This, itis. But what does itis really mean?
The suffix itis denotes inflammation of a specified organ or tissue.
itis really means inflammation. How do we combat chronic inflammation? Through lifestyle changes. Then, and only then, make sure you're getting enough omega-3 fatty acids.
Always consult a qualified medical professional before starting any supplements.
Chief Personnel Officer Dr. Darrell Dindial says government is maintaining its position that arrears owed to members of the Public Services Association will include a combination of cash and non-cash payments.
Dr. Dindial confirmed that discussions on the issue are still ongoing. The contention surrounds a disagreement over how an estimated $3.8 billion in back pay will be paid to the PSA members. PSA members began receiving a cash advance of their estimated back pay in December, while the remaining payments are expected to be delivered through a combination of cash and non-cash measures. However, the structure of those non-cash components has been a major sticking point in negotiations between the union and the government. The finance minister said the union has to factor what he described as an extremely difficult financial situation inherited from the PNM administration. CNC3 News is awaiting a response from PSA President Felicia Thomas on the development. The CPU is maintaining government's 5% salary offer for the 2020 to 2022 bargaining period, even as police and fire service unions continue to push for higher increases. The position was maintained during a meeting between the CPU and the executive of the Police Association, led by President Ishmael Pitt at the Personnel Department. The association said it has not accepted the offer and will submit a formal written response to the proposal dated April 11, 2025. Meanwhile, The Fire Officers Association has also indicated it will push for a significantly higher increase. Keon Guy says the association's initial proposal was for a 17% salary increase, arguing that the figure reflects the loss of purchasing power experienced by fire officers over the past decade.
Our initial offer on the table was 17%, consistent to the loss of our purchasing power over the past decade. So a 17% in our salaries will only ensure that fire officers could be able to have the same purchasing power.
In addition to salary increases, the Fire Officers Association wants to discussions on the treatment of allowances at retirement disparities in compensation across protective services and the potential impact of proposed changes to eligibility for NIS benefits. The Court of Appeal has ordered the Board of Inland Revenue to refund over $481,000 in withholding tax to 2 foreign engineering firms.
The case involved HMV Ingenieros Ltda and HMV Engineering Corporation, which worked with TNTech between 2013 and 2016. The companies argued that money deducted for goods and overseas services was not taxable under the Income Tax Act.
Although the BIR admitted it received the funds, it refused to issue a refund. Well, appeal court judge Ricky Rahim ruled the tax authority had no legal right to keep the money, calling it unjust enrichment.
The energy landscape in Trinidad and Tobago is shifting following recent high-level talks at the Shield of the Americas Forum.
With a potential return of Chevron to the local conversation, energy analysts say interest in Trinidad and Tobago is no surprise as global attention shifts to the Southern Caribbean's growing oil and gas potential.
Keisha Kaulesa Alonso tells us more in tonight's Business Watch.
Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal has confirmed that energy giant Chevron is knocking at TNT's door following a meeting with Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, U.S. President Donald Trump, and U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright. While the outcome of those discussions depend on what conversations focused on, energy expert Anthony Paul explains why international companies like Chevron may be eyeing this country once again.
Trinidad's geology is part of the eastern Venezuelan basin, and the oil fields are similar. So it's not surprising. Also, it's not surprising that Chevron is looking at us because Chevron is a player in the Guyana-Suriname basin. They're a player in the continuation of that trend across the Atlantic, because the Atlantic margin and the oil and gas that were produced and in the reservoirs that were produced were formed when South America and Africa were close together before the Atlantic opened up.
But what exactly is Chevron interested in? Minister Munilal over the weekend had indicated that Chevron is not just interested in exploration and production, but also some matters pertaining to storage. In giving her take on the talks, energy expert Carolyn C. Persad-Bechan notes that Chevron remains one of the few major international energy companies operating in Venezuela under the Office of Foreign Assets Control or OFAC license.
From a technical and economic perspective, sanctions, constraints ease, and companies like Chevron regain the operational flexibility in Venezuela. The industry's natural preference would be to return to some form of coordinated development. Back in 2010, discussions included the possibility of processing 8.7 TCF of gas from the Venezuelan Loran field through Trinidad's Atlantic LNG facilities as a commercially viable option.
However, she says Trinidad already has structured the Manatee development independently and would not wish to further delay production timelines to facilitate reunitization given the country's urgent need for a new gas supply. C. Persad-Bechan advises that a more realistic pathway may be a phased approach. And now for a look at today's energy and forex prices. Geisha Kaulesa Alonso, CNC3 Business Watch.
The full opening of the new A&R Robinson International Airport could be moving closer to reality. Acting Prime Minister Jaylene John says she will visit the island in 2 weeks to assess the completion of the runway. Last year, March, then Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley held a practical opening of the facility and toured the new terminal building. However, John says the airport cannot be fully operational until the runway work is complete and certified to meet international aviation standards.
Every week, NITCO, who is the project manager, is there. Sometimes twice a week. The chairman of NITCO, who is also a civil engineer, he's up there. And so I get reports all the time. I have committed to going up there in about 2 weeks' time, prior to the end of the month, with the Minister of Transport. All right, so look to see whether they can accept practical completion of these now runways. It's only the terminal building that they had accepted practical completion of. I don't know if it was finished, and they haven't read that note, but certainly the runway, if you go there now, a lot of work is still going on.
John said Transport Minister Eli Zakur will also accompany her to Tobago. She said there are other critical works which may be completed by early April. Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight.
They come here with a mental to destroy. Well, they destroy me.
Family left homeless after what they call an illegal HTC eviction.
We had mostly sunny and breezy conditions today, and the hazardous seas alert has been discontinued. I'll have the details coming up just after the break.
Introducing the new Sun Mix Nut Bar. Available in 3 delicious flavors: granola raisin nut, almond cranberry crunch, and coconut almond crisp. All packed on a rich bed of dark chocolate.
Taste the good life, snack right. Taste the good life anytime. Good life. Sun Mix.
Sunshine Snacks Sun Mix Nut Bar. Taste the good life.
Ramadan Kareem from Passad's The Food King. This season, we welcome you to 30 nights of blessed value. Enjoy incredible savings on your Ramadan essentials. Central Farm Halal Duck Cut Up, £4, $99. Halal Bone Goat, £4, $110. Chana Large Grain, 2,000 grams, $39.99. Chief Curry Powder, 230 grams, $26. Cook's Made Quick Oats, 226 grams, 4 packs for $20. Nescafe Colombian Bold Blend Coffee, 170 grams, $34.99. Regal Seedless Dates, 200 grams, $14.99. Ciara Halal Chicken Franks, 340 grams, 3 packs for $20. Shake Split Peas Powder, 400 grams, 2 packs, $15. Fresh Harvest Sweetened Condensed Milk, 390 grams, 3 tins, $25. Shake Vermicelli Sawine, 200 grams, 4 packs, $19.99. Value for every home this Ramadan at Passad's The Food King. Sale ends March 19th, 2026, or while stocks last.
My man Andre.
Good night, Anthony.
7 years with the company, and we couldn't do it without Antoine.
Happy birthday, dear Alejandro. Happy birthday to you.
Who's Angelo?
We're like coworkers who don't forget your name.
I'm Angelo.
CG United. Good like that.
Only BioStrath gives your body more than 60 of the essential nutrients it needs every day in a product that's 100% natural for stronger immunity, enhanced focus, increased energy and stamina. BioStrath. Get what you need naturally.
Considering a career in procurement or supply chain? Start the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply, CIPS, program at CTS College. CIPS is internationally recognized as the leading professional accreditation for procurement and supply chain professionals. It covers industry-related topics like strategic sourcing, contract management, and ethical practices. With 1 day of class per week and 6 intake periods, students can get certified in as little as 6 months. Contact CTS College today and ask about our flexible payment options and how you can get up to $2,700 off.
A 38-year-old man who was assigned an ankle bracelet and out on bail for attempted murder was shot dead outside his Arima home this morning.
Police reported that Isaiah Garcia was killed while leaving his apartment at Recreation Street, Arima Old Road around 7:15 a.m. A neighbor told police they found Garcia's body outside his home. Garcia accessed bail after he was charged with the attempted murder of a Carapo couple in 2021. His killing pushed the murder toll to 65 for the year, 10 less than the corresponding period last year. And relatives of businessman Homardat Sukhdeo today confirmed his body was discovered in bushes near Tyrico Bay yesterday morning.
Police say around 10 a.m. they received a report of a motionless body at Tyrico Beach. Sukdeo's hands were bound with rope and a dog chain, while his feet were tied with an orange strap. A bloodied sponge and brown tape were also found nearby. Relatives later identified him at the Forensic Science Center. Police report that Sukhdeo of Todd's Road was last seen on March 8th and was reported missing that same day at the Londonville police post. A Chaguanas family is homeless tonight after their home was destroyed in what they describe as an illegal eviction by the Housing Development Corporation.
The family is demanding answers as to why no proper checks were done and why the eviction was carried out in such an abusive manner. Angelo Jedediah has more.
The midwinter of an eye, I lost everything because AGC didn't do what they're supposed to do.
This is the ordeal that Zakia Ramsey faces following what she has described as an illegal eviction by the Housing Development Corporation. On Friday morning, Ramsey says she woke up to people who she says were attached to HDC at her Edinburgh 500 apartment, breaking and dismantling the property she had been given to live in since 2016. For Ramsey, her husband, and their 3 children, this was a complete shock, as she says they owed no money and were not squatting. The family were licensees of HDC, waiting for the agency to fulfill its promise to relocate them to another property.
We're supposed to be relocated with the money we already pay, allocated to the apartment that they owe the house that they're going to give us.
But beyond the eviction, Ramsey says the manner in which it was done was abusive, leaving the family to sleep in the rain.
No, I had to come and face this embarrassment because they didn't do the work right. And then we do the research right to find out what's going on with me here before they come and do me this. Because they come here with a mental to destroy. Well, they destroy me.
Representing the family, attorney-at-law Stephen Mawa says he will also be pursuing legal action for damages, including assault and the malicious destruction of property.
She's not looking for a handout. She's looking to be able to have a home that she pays for. And she's been denied the opportunity to do that for quite a long time by HDC. And now she's been denied a roof over her head.
CNC3 News reached out to Housing Minister David Lee, who says he has requested a report from HDC management to fully understand the situation. Angelo Jedediah, CNC3 News.
Breakfast shed vendors have until April 30th to vacate the waterfront premises.
That's according to the vendors' financial advisor, Robert LaHunt. LaHunt, together with attorney Kenneth Monroe Brown, met with vendors at the eatery to discuss their way forward in response to an eviction letter. LaHunt described Udicot's stance as unfortunate, noting that he has made multiple attempts to hold a meeting between Udicot and the vendors to resolve the issue amicably.
You are saying that you owe me, that I owe you money. You also owe me some money, and let's sit down and talk. And unfortunately, that's why I said it was unfortunate, and I think it's a little bit high-handed, that they have chosen to take this radical position.
Well, CNC3 News reached out to the Udicot through their corporate communications manager, but received no response up to news time.
All right, Jean-Marc's back. Jean-Marc, I can see the northern range again, so the Sahara dust is sort of dissipated, at least for now.
At least for now, yes. We've had several days without the Saharan dust, and I know many are breathing a sigh of relief. We've had some relatively dry conditions today, but that's about to change later in the week. Let's take a look at the satellite. So relatively dry conditions across the entire eastern Caribbean today, with most of those smaller clouds moving across pretty quickly in the trade winds. Off to our east, nothing significant in terms of rainfall, but there are some of those larger patches further off in the Atlantic, which will make its way towards us later on in the week. Also, some cloud cover is expected to move over us from South America on Wednesday and Thursday. So we see a slight change in the conditions as the week progresses. Also today, the Met Office discontinued the yellow level hazard listed as seas alert, but waves in open waters are still between 2 and 2.5 meters, which is just below the classification of rough. Also, it's still a bit breezy with winds out of the east-northeast at 15 to 20 knots, so strong rip currents are still possible. Now, on another note, seeing that we're in the month of Ramadan, many within the Muslim community use these times, the sunrise and the sunset. Now, that data uses Port of Spain as the location, with the sunrise time representing the actual moment the upper edge of the sun first appears on the horizon, and the sunset time is the exact moment the upper edge disappears below the horizon. I know that's an important distinction within the community. Now for the forecast for tonight, it's mostly fair conditions with overnight lows of 23 in Trinidad and 24 in Tobago. Tomorrow we can expect initially sunny conditions, a bit breezy at times, but a few showers are likely to develop during the afternoon, mainly over Trinidad. One or two of those showers may just spill over into the evening and night and likely to favor eastern areas. Now, today was likely the driest day for the week, with a few afternoon and evening showers expected tomorrow and higher chances of rainfall from Wednesday into the weekend. Also, Wednesday and Thursday should be a bit cloudier than usual, with Thursday shaping up to be more on the rainy side of things. Otherwise, showers should be isolated and not really long-lasting. Now, for some weather news, there will never be another Hurricane Melissa. Last week, the World Meteorological Organization's Hurricane Committee retired Melissa from its rotating list of names because of the death and destruction it caused in the Caribbean in October 2025. Now, the historic storm killed more than 90 people across Jamaica and the Greater Antilles, and as a result, the committee selected Molly as the replacement name. So, Melissa, last year, I know Ryan Atcop, that was the talk of the town. Yeah. Everyone was speaking about Melissa and the damage it caused and linking it to climate change. So, it was never in question that the name would have been retired.
Hoping Molly is a little bit more friendly.
Hopefully docile, yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, John Mark. What's still to come in the news? From trash to treasure, one artist turns discarded waste into striking street art.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
When others surrender to the unhealthy, we rise. When they conform to the status quo, we defy.
We believe energy is earned, not given. We fearlessly defend our bodies from the inside out.
With every sip, we unleash our greatness. We boost, we nourish, we cleanse, we recharge.
We are rebels without a pause, because a supernatural life is one worth fighting for.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Deba Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
A desperate appeal for help from the family of an 85-year-old man who has been missing for 14 days.
Frank Lovelace, who suffers from Alzheimer's, walked out of his home in St. Augustine, where he lives with his wife, on February 24th. He has not returned since. He was last seen wearing red short pants, a baby blue sleeveless vest, and a pair of slippers. At his San Fernando home, Lovelace's stepson, Renato Sanchez, a police constable, says his family is deeply worried for his safety and is appealing to the public to not hurt him. He says they have been searching across the country and following up on reported sightings in areas including Currap, the Brian Lara Promenade, and Sangre Grande, but so far there have been no success.
We would call the district station, right? And when we get there, to no avail. So I wonder if You're hiding from here. You're hiding from here. We love you. We love you. We wait to come back home. Just come back. That's all. Come back, mommy. Missing you. We missing you. Your grandchildren missing you. Your great-grandchildren missing you.
Sanchez said his stepfather also suffers from diabetes and high blood pressure and needs medication.
Family has offered a $2,000 reward for information and is urging anyone who sees him to contact the police or the Hunters Search and Rescue Team or 484-4767. Well, let's hand you over now to Jassy. Jassy, I understand things are tight in the TTCB Premier Division.
That's right. We are almost at the business end of the competition. Powergen leads the way, but QPCC and Marching Patriots are stalking closely behind. We'll have the weekend's full roundup after the break. And the West Indian that makes the ICC T20 World Cup's team of the tournament may come as a surprise. Stick around. Sport is next.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered. Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2 Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time. Or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
Welcome back. It's time for sport now. In the Trinidad and Tobago Premier League, that is the TTPFL, Prison Service clipped Eagles' wings, while Athletic Port of Spain, and Police Service were left with unfinished business after a premature end to a doubleheader at the Ken Cook Ground in St. James.
Prison Service in their grey and orange kit, accompanied by a four-legged 12th man, came to the police barracks keen on 3 points against the team, 2 points from safety on the better end of the relegation places. The prison's team settled into a sharp passing rhythm almost immediately and found the game's first goal. Just 3 minutes into the match, Kyron Williams finding the net from a tight angle. That for a 1-0 lead that held up to the break. To the second half, with the match still holding up as a contest, Prisons thought they copped a second when Ricardo John found himself in yards of space. However, the referee felt he went a bit early. They continued plugging away. Eagles made to defend a series of incisive passes before John used his height and strength advantage to flick in the second. 2-0 after 59 minutes. As the Eagles became more desperate, space opened up behind them and Brendan Figueroa sprinted into the open yardage before calmly stroking in the game's third and the 68th. Eyeing a clean sheet, Prisons made an 81st minute mistake and Eagles had a penalty. Dominic Douglas smashed it to restore some pride, but it didn't signal the start of a comeback. 3-1 the final score. The second fixture was a top-of-the-table match between AC Port of Spain in their yellow and red and the hosts, the boys in blue. ACPOS had a 9th-minute breakaway, but Nathan Lewis couldn't capitalize. Then they earned a chance from 12 yards in the 23rd minute. Jabari Mitchell is often deadly from set pieces, but not this time, as it remained goalless at halftime. In the 52nd, Lewis made good on his first-half miss, blindsiding his defender for a 1-0 ACPOS lead. They almost sneaked in a speculative effort. However, while they waited to take the resulting corner, 60th minute and lights out. An incomplete match due to a power outage. Elsewhere this weekend, Caledonia AIA put Central FC to the sword, 5-1 in their match. Jarrell Garcia scored a hat-trick as their neighbours Sabo Jablati also battered FC Phoenix. Club Sando won 3-0 over La Hocata Rangers, and goals either side of the match earned Defence Force a draw against Point Fortin Civic. Those results sees Defence Force still on top by 4 points. Club Sando hot on their heels. Police and Prisons are a point apart in the top 4. Civic, Rangers and Eagles are just above the trapdoor at the other end. Phoenix and Caledonia will be keen to stay above them in the coming weeks. Jovan Ravello, CNC3 Sport.
Cricket now. Reports coming out of India suggest that the West Indies men's T20 team could leave the subcontinent on Tuesday. The men in maroon have been kept back in Kolkata more than a week after they exited the World Cup at the Super 8 stage last week Sunday. Commercial flights have been affected in Asia due to the military strikes in Iran, and despite several promises, the team's departure has repeatedly been pushed back. But ESPN Cricinfo reports that the team could soon be headed to South Africa on a chartered flight. The local arm wrestling community is hoping the sport takes grip in Trinidad and Tobago following some recent groundbreaking developments. Here's more. What once may have been thought of as just a whimsical schoolyard game, colloquially called hand strength or hand strength in the King's English, arm wrestling is today a much more recognized and organized sport throughout the world. 25-year-old Navado Wallace-Gill is a local pioneer, founder and president of the Trini Arm Warriors Club and founder of the newly incorporated TNT Arm Wrestling Federation.
It's predominantly a European sports, the Russians, Kazakhstans, they pretty much dominate the whole arm wrestling scene. I always used to see videos on YouTube, watch competitions, and I wanted to compete myself, right? And I just had never had no platform for me to do it in Trinidad. So that's why I founded the first club. A cross between a martial art and a strength sport, the local community sees potential for it as a physical and mental well-being tool. We also do physical training, holistic training for your body, you know, so I think once people see that side of arm wrestling, they will gravitate towards it because it is a sport that everyone can do it. TNT has made strong links in Antigua, which is one of the Caribbean's few nations with a thriving arm wrestling scene. Their once-per-year collaborative event, Clash of the Caribbean, led to Wallace-Gill being invited to the ongoing North American Federation Championship. The North American Championship in Ottawa, Canada started today and ends on Sunday. And that event is a qualifier to go to World Arm Wrestling Championships.
To some regional news now. Holder is in, but Hetmeyer is out and won 2025 Character Games Golden Girl sounds a warning. All-rounder Jason Holder was the only West Indies player chosen in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup team of the tournament following the competition's conclusion on Sunday. Holder was instrumental in getting his team to the Super 8 stage, where it bowed out with defeats to South Africa and eventual champions India. He ranked 13th on the wicket takers list with 10 scalps from 7 matches at an average of 20.40 and an economy rate of 8.86. Best figures of 4 for 27 came against Nepal, while he also had 3 for 30 against Scotland. Holder also scored 141 runs from 5 innings with a highest of 49, averaging 35.25 and with a strike rate of 174.04. Holder's teammate, meanwhile, Shimron Hetmeyer, joins him in ESPN Cricinfo's team of the tournament, curated by that website's reporters covering the edition. Hetmeyer ranked 9th on the top scorers list with 248 runs from 7 innings at an average of 41.33 and a strike rate of 186.46. His 19 sixes was 3rd most in the tournament. On to track and field now. Jamaica's double Carifta gold medalist Shanoya Douglas clocked a world-leading time of 22.58 seconds in the women's under-18 200 meters at Jamaica's Carifta Games trials on Sunday. Douglas's time to cap off a sprint double at the trials also stands as the 4th fastest time among seniors in the world this year. The 18-year-old also registered a personal best of 11.06 in the 100-meter on Friday. And now a tag team takes tonight's CNC3 Sport High.
Blake Wesley put Jirachi Walker in a blender during the Blazers' 20-point dub over the Pacers, before dishing to Yang Hansen, who put the exclamation point on the play. Filthy from any angle, Blake collects Walker's ankles and Yang finishes with a bang as the dynamic duo rolls into tonight's CNC3 Sport High.
All right, guys, I'm clearing the desk for both of you all to arm wrestle right
what
now.
What about you, Rhea?
Let's go. I saw Kema win hers, so you know I can.
Yeah, good technique, Rhea. Good form.
I feel like you let me win. All right,
that's sport, guys.
Thank you so much, Jassy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you, our viewers and readers first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair,
impartial,
and to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail,
rigorous verification of facts, use of credible sources, and sound editorial judgment.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more.
In Guyana, the search is continuing for 2 crew members of a tanker barge that sank off the east coast Demerara today.
The Maritime Administration Department said it received a distress signal of the sinking tanker barge. Emergency response operations were activated to search for the missing people. At the time of the incident, the barge was transporting a cargo of molasses from Berbice to Georgetown. A 35-year-old Florida woman is behind bars in Los Angeles, held on over $10 million bail following an attempted murder arrest at the home of pop icon Rihanna.
Police say Ivana Lisette Ortiz was apprehended at a nearby shopping complex just 30 minutes after gunfire erupted at the Beverly Hills estate on Sunday. Investigators recovered an AR-15 style rifle and assault rifle casings at the scene. The Barbadian national hero, whose real name is Robin Fenty, was at home at the time of the attack with her partner A$AP Rocky and their 3 children. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. The singer and billionaire entrepreneur has not yet issued a formal statement on the incident.
Let's take another break. We'll be right back. Connection is reliable, credible, and authentic. Thank you for trusting me to bring you the news.
It's a privilege to be in your homes and hearts. With every story and every newscast, CNC3 is keeping you informed and inspired. When it comes to news, we are where you are.
Come, I'll go take you upstairs. I'll go fix you up. And when Mr. Hubert come, I'm going to tell him.
Tell me what?
Oh, Miss Pamela only had one drink, sir.
I'll make some coffee. I want to be alone with my wife.
Your wife? That's a good joke.
So you've been telling our business to Myrna?
Watch TNT's hit soap opera, Westwood Park, Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. only on CNC3.
Art has a way of uniting people from varying backgrounds. That's what inspires Savannah Driftwood sculpture artist Damian Agostini to continue his craft.
Despite facing opposition from some voices, the sculptor is pressing on and has even branched out to a new location. Here's more in this story.
Port of Spain isn't exactly known for being clean, green, and serene. For years, residents and commuters have complained about rubbish, neglect, and dilapidated spaces. But as the saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. When Trinidadian-Canadian Damian Agostini spots discarded items around the city, he doesn't view them as waste. Instead, he sees materials for his masterpieces.
He's taking the concept of street art to a whole new level by using things such as a tree branch to remains from a carnival costume and even forks from a nearby restaurant and transforming them into striking public pieces. Now, while much of his work can be found around Port of Spain, his new canvas is a bit different.
This time, he's at Mount Irvin, where another one of his pieces is slowly taking shape beneath his simple tools. A horse, one of the many animals he enjoys crafting.
I like to do themes based on the savannah, based on Africa, based the reindeers, gazelles, horses, lions, giraffes. All those things are animals that I like to create.
Wherever he goes, his surroundings become his workshop.
I'm in my glory here because everything is right there that I need to create. I don't really bring wood to do anything. I usually create. I walk with my tools, and if I see something, I bring it to life.
Primarily made up of driftwood and other materials cast away as garbage, his sculptures don't always receive high praise. But he believes his work has its place. It's all about creativity and respect for the environment.
My spots, wherever I go, I literally clean the garbage because I don't like to see paper and cans and bottles around my art.
The road hasn't always been smooth. In 2017, his sculptures were removed from the savannah after a dispute with then Port of Spain Mayor Joel Martinez. Martinez later apologized and compensated Agostini for his work. He faced a similar issue in Canada, but he says moments like those only make him more determined.
If they wanted to take me to jail for creating something, I was willing to go to jail, and if I was inside there, I'd make something out of the toilet papers.
Whether it be positive reviews or harsh criticism, Agostini says he does not plan to stop because this is more than a hobby. It's a calling.
I feel like I was given a gift, and with that gift, I'm able to touch people in certain ways, bring a smile on their face, let them scratch their head, and I would love to teach a younger generation, and to show them how to work this craft.
For now, he remains in Tobago, drilling away and drifting with the tide towards his next destination. Liana Maharaj, CNC3 News.
That's a really beautiful piece.
That's right, and he's very talented. I've seen those pieces in person around the savannah. That's quite a character to, you know, everybody who's around the savannah. I quite look forward to it, and sometimes I just have fun trying to guess what these sculptures might be.
Yeah, and to think that it's just made out of the wood that's just fallen off trees, the branches that have been broken,
And even the folks from restaurants. And I actually saw some of them at the end of Ryson Road where he set them up just before Carnival.
Talk about making something from quite literally nothing. Yeah.
All right, it's time to recap our headlines. Prime Minister meets U.S. Southern Command in Florida to secure new support for TNT's fight against crime.
TSTT confronted during negotiation talks but denies spending nearly $500,000 on Tobago executive retreat.
In sports, Team TTO to send 74 strong to Carifta Games Grenada 2026.
And in the weather, a few afternoon showers tomorrow with more rainfall later on in the week.
We've come to the end of the 7 p.m. news on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Ramble.
I'm Ryan Beachu.
I am Jassy Marie.
And I'm Jean-Marc Rampersad. Have a good night.